This is Queers Converse, and I'm here with the amazing and gorgeous Tinashea Monét, model, performance
Hello.
artist, and you were most recently in Beauty Boys Go Boo Part 6.
Part 6.
Part 6. I can't believe it's been 6 years. That still like blows my mind. But yeah, you were the heiress, right? Can you describe the
That was
heiress
me.
and how you encompass your character?
Yes. Okay, so when I first got to find out about the character, like basically my cue card, what I was told about her, she is just this elegant, royal, just the Don Data. And I was like, okay, well, thank you for booking me for this role because you picked the right girl immediately because that's just all I do, live, breathe, eat, sleep is that. And finding out about her, she is a heartless killer who kills with stunting looks, and she also kills with paperworks and legal stuff. She's a character. She's really they wrote her. They wrote her a good way, and they picked the perfect person for it. I honestly loved it. Being told to just be luxurious and be royal. I felt like I wasn't even playing a role.
That's amazing. I guess those are the most fun roles to play when you guys can be like a more eccentric version of yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is already coming from an eccentric version of myself.
I love it. So in addition to like performance artistry and modeling and entrepreneurship, are you going to be adding like acting and film to your resume? Do you have any future projects in mind?
Honestly, the years prior to 2021, I honestly wasn't really looking at any film or video really like that. But I am happy to announce that I am starting to work on a little collective with the Monets and an established, talented videographer and photographer. And we're going to just be pulling together just a lot of content and just, house it somewhere cute. And eventually we might trickle it down every so now and then.
Ooh, I love that. Just all the possibilities, right?
Yes, endless.
Right. And you founded the marvelous Monets, the eclectic beauty house, right? It's a part of the Pacific
Yes.
Northwest ballroom scene.
Yes.
How did you get into the ballroom scene? And then for some of us who might be less familiar, could you describe it for us?
Okay, so I got into ballroom. I got knowledgeable of ballroom just from YouTube, seeing basic clips of voguing, but at the time I didn't know that like it all adds up to one whole because there's so many different parts and so many different gears involved with ballroom. There's the actual family aspect of houses and like creating and nurturing a system and a unit, and then there's the actual like queer tournament ballroom that like people know it to be with the competing and the competitions and the trophies and all of that. So my mother, my queer mother, her name's Jade Vogelslang, she actually brought me to my first ball out in Portland, Oregon. And we all just went to like watch, and then she did her LSS, which is like a legend statements and stars. It's when the people who are acclaimed in your area of ballroom get to do stuff, and she was that girl. So it was so inspiring to see that. And so on my first ball, I was like, I want to walk. So like I competed because I'm also like a performer on my own. So like it's nothing new for me. So I went and I dominated my first ball. I won my first ball at Face, and girl, I just kept going and going and going and going. And honestly, it's a ride will never stop. I'm sorry, as I'm talking, my cat is like gnawing on my shawl from the back.
Don't worry about it. I have 2 dogs and a cat, and the only reason they're not bothering me, oh baby.
She's a handful. 2 handfuls.
She is so cute though.
She's so precious. Okay.
Oh, cats, yeah, we have a little kitten named Diego, and he has my heart. I'm a total lover. They get everywhere. The only reason they're not in this room, actually, the door is not shut right now, so hopefully they don't jump down in here and cause a fuss.
Oh my goodness.
So you literally just mentioned this, and I wanted to ask. You mentioned face. That's a category, right?
Yes. So that is one of many categories. I would say face and ballroom is one of the most extenuous things to walk. It's the most nerve-wracking thing because it really just depends on you and what you have. It doesn't matter what you bring. It's about you and literally your face.
Oh my God.
So for some people who aren't as confident or outgoing, it might not be a first category to jump into because some judges can be really ruthless.
Yes, I do recall that. I've been to one ballroom event years. I wasn't actually going to bring this up, but years ago. But you mentioned the judges. I remember I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. I had never been to a ballroom event. I didn't even know what it was. It was before Pose was out. Like I didn't know anything. And it was Sex Siren was the category. And I didn't know what I was walking into. And the judges had to stop it and be like, you don't know what's happening. Let me tell you what's happening. It was like in front of everybody. And I was like, okay, so I can either get really embarrassed and I can just die right now here in the middle of the queer community, or I can take all of their constructive criticisms and own this. So then I just went completely over the top and I ended up actually winning the category. There wasn't a
Hey!
Yeah, and it was.
We love to see it.
I'm sorry?
We love to see it. We love to see it.
Insane, but the judges, they did not hold back. They were ruthless, and it was that memory I will remember. It's iconic for the rest of my life, and that's my experience. That was my small experience with like Seattle ballroom scene many years ago. So just when you mentioned that, I can imagine like Face and your house or the Marvelous Monets. I did a little bit of social media research and found that y'all are kind of known for Face. Y'all kind of steal that category, don't you?
We are indeed a Face house. Just what we do. It's what I do best, and it's the easiest thing that like I can like teach and guide my kids into doing to like follow my steps. And I don't know what else to say. We're a bunch of beautiful people that love to be beautiful.
That's amazing. I love that. How do you exude that confidence? Like, how do you hone that confidence?
It takes a lot. I'm not gonna act like I got here yesterday. I wasn't always confident. I mean, maybe to a sense, because I'm a Leo, and Leos are always, we're queen confidence, period. But I feel like it's a lot of internal love that you have to do. It's a lot of internal, like, every time you see yourself in the mirror, you need to thank yourself and you need to love yourself every day. Like it's a non-stop thing of always making sure that you are being a projection of yourself that you want to be, that you're giving to yourself. Because if you don't give to yourself, how are you giving to nobody else?
Oh my God, I love that. And your smile is absolutely just like contagious and gorgeous.
Thank you. My parents paid a lot of money for my braces, so I'm getting their money worth with every smile.
Yes, you are. You could do like motivational videos. Like you could do anything and just tell people to love themselves all the time.
Right. That would give.
So you also, I think last year performed in Legendary Children, hosted by the Seattle Art Museum.
Yes.
Oh
my goodness, yes.
What that collaboration was like? Because you worked with multiple houses and multiple artists, right?
Yes. So Legendary Children has always been an event that, like, I am from Tacoma, Washington, and I've always heard of Legendary Children in Seattle, the yearly thing that goes on. And the closest I got to it, I didn't get to it, but the closest that I got to it, like, all of my friends were all involved with it, like, a year prior. And I was like, wow, this is mind blowing. Like, I really want to go to this next year. And then I get a call and then I end up being booked for it the next year. So my first time actually being a part of even witnessing Legendary Children, I'm like in Legendary Children. So it was really mind boggling, and all the houses were so loving, and it was really a fun experience. So, because when all of us houses get together, it's always like a big family key. Like we're all, we all kiki, we all hang out, we all talk to an extent. And so just seeing it all come together with videography and seeing everyone else live in their element, it's such a beautiful thing. And the project was so fun. Loving the environment was so professional, COVID safe. It was really cute.
That's awesome. How many houses are there in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon area?
Okay, that's a question. I'm gonna say this to the ones that I can say. I'm gonna say like 13.
Wow.
I don't feel like there's that many. I would not say there's more than 10, including Portland and Washington. But I don't know. People think they can make houses every other day. So it all depends on the houses that last and the houses that make the most impressions.
I get that. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So how does you mentioned COVID, you mentioned the pandemic and Legendary Children and the Seattle Art Museum being so safe. With everything that's happened, we're almost going to a full year kind of being like in and out of lockdown. How has your artistry developed?
I'll say it has definitely changed because my view of beauty has changed so much since COVID because, I feel like the world basically pressed pause and you don't really have any other expectations or anything to like see around you as inspiration other than, online. So I feel like a lot of it came to me trying to create new outlets of expression for myself. Like I found myself getting more into sewing and designing than I've ever had. And like I just find myself doing a lot more. It's almost like to me, I feel like, when you lose one of your senses, something else grows back stronger. And that's what I feel like, because in Corona, like I'm not allowed to, go out and turn the looks anymore. So like I got to do something else that's more productive and satisfying for me. So honestly, I find the challenge very, very interesting. I'm not going to say it's an easy one because like sometimes, especially for creators, it can be hard to think of and create new content. And especially not having an outlet in Corona would be really, really hard. But you just have to keep going. Spin the wheel, try something new. If you find an idea, write it down and just come back to it,
I agree with that. And it's great that you've been able to kind of like flex your other artist muscles because you are also, from my social media research, as I do, I saw that you're a and well, I'm a Gemini, so this is what I do.
Yes, I'm a Gemini moon.
Okay, so I'm a Capricorn moon and rising, and
I'm a Capricorn rising, Leo moon, Capricorn rising, Gemini. Let me stop.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
This is why we liked each other. It was an unspoken click before we even said anything. I knew it.
I felt the vibe through the computer.
Yes, I felt it through the LED. I felt it. I really did.
You exude through. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yes. Where was I? Okay. But you mentioned like you're a designer as well. So one, yes. I mean, what do you design? What are your styles? Like where do you pull your inspiration and your energy from? Do you have any of your designs that you can share with us? If you can, if you want to, I'd love to hear more about that.
That's a good question. And I'm glad you said it because you're right in front of me with my sketchbook. I wouldn't mind showing something, but I think my passion and my design, I didn't actually know this until I was just a couple years into sketching and designing. But my mom, when she was my age, actually did like full on fashion sketches. Like she had sketchbooks and sketchbooks of sketches, just raw content that she's never released, never shown anyone, never told anyone. And that blew my mind because here I am, a sketch artist, and her mom, my grandmother, she is actually a retired supermodel, like supermodel. So finding out that, I was like, oh, okay, so it's in my blood, I guess.
Like, but it's in your genetics. Like you were literally.
Yes. I just came out like that, I guess. I'll show you a design that I drew around high school. This is a dress like made out of string. Like the concept was like, if I had a dress, like if Lady Gaga had a dress made out of meat, I want a dress made entirely out of string. So I drew this whole concept. It's really bad light. Like the light is like directly, I don't think you can tell, but girl, I've been, let me see. Can you see? You see the shoulder lapel, you see the front top, the skirt. You get it.
Yes, I love that dress. That was gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. So it's great you've been able to focus more on that.
Yes, it's definitely been, my outlet has been fashion, sketching. Also, doing online editing and rendering pictures and stuff is so fun. I just post pictures on Instagram just to archive them, but just to put them out for myself. Yeah, I just find so much fun in arts and design, just getting into it, as well as the stuff that I create. Like in ballroom, one of my other favorite categories other than face is a category called bazaar, and as the name is entailed, it's literally the category of the biggest, flashiest, wildest thing that you can put on the stage within a set theme or whatever. So I love avant-garde, wild club kid, just crazy things. Like that's really how my mind works. And that's where I find myself thriving, because I find myself often put in a box of just being, pretty. And like that's all you can do is be pretty. So it makes me want to do the outlandish and the crazy and like the cuckoo and, get into the more creative side.
I like that. I never thought of it that way, but I guess I've never explored that more crazy side of myself. But you kind of do get put in the box.
Yes.
And you can make bizarre beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's so. I would love to see. I want to see more. I want to see more of that bizarro and all of that. We're gonna have to find some images to
Yes. Well, stay tuned. Hopefully after Rona's over, you'll see a lot more stuff to get to.
Do you think that kind of that love for the bizarro, that love for the extreme, is the Pacific Northwest influence on your artistry? Because I understand you're born and raised in the Northwest, as is myself, right? In the Seattle Pacific Northwest, Tacoma. That's kind of it's a very subtle culture, right?
Yes.
Does that influence your artistry?
Honestly, as much as I don't like to say it, yes. I don't know why. I think mentally it's because like I've built this like block from like, even though like I'm here like 253206 Seattle Tacoma is like where I'm like from and like resign, but I'm so like thinking of like traveling and outsourcing that I like try not to box myself. But like it's not a bad thing to box yourself as. Like Seattle is literally like the seventh unknown fashion capital of the world. There's so many trends and things that start in Seattle that like people just aren't aware of. But I have to say, I guess so, because a lot of my friends that aren't from here would think of my style and be like, "Girl, that's outlandish. Like, girl, that's a little wild." But here I am, bold, and I don't know. That's just how I like it. And yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Yeah, I think that is Seattle. It's definitely the Seattle Tacoma effect, But we have so many crazy, talented individuals and artists from Seattle. It's really nothing to be ashamed of.
No, I think maybe, I don't know. Maybe that hesitation is because Seattle is just known to be so passive and so waspy.
I mean, that's the culture of Seattle, but
right?
The fashion of Seattle, if you walk down Capitol Hill, you're going to see someone wearing one outfit that's completely monochromatic. You're going to find someone wearing an outfit that's completely made out of sequins. Like someone is just going to have something weird going on in Seattle, but like that's what we like about it.
That's true. It's so true. So in turn, how do you think you've influenced the Pacific Northwest and the LGBTQ community?
I think, just me, myself, being an outstanding Black trans woman, there's a lot of blueprints taken from Black culture and Black impacts. So I'm just saying that can be taken and spread out and to cover a lot of areas.
Right. Well, there is a lot of like cultural appropriation, especially in such a white waspy area. And I think as women of color, queer, people part of the queer community, it can be difficult and you kind of feel like you get lost a little bit.
Yeah, it really does. I don't know, it's very, very, very interesting. Like I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine. Like I just posted a picture on Instagram of like me in a wig with some baby hairs and it was really cute. And I feel like the feedback that I got of it is not the same as if I post my natural hair with baby hairs. It's just something different about having a little piece of lace on that just changes the narrative for everyone. And I don't know, thinking about it that way is just like, it's very, I don't know, trendy. And I don't know how I feel about that. But I
Right.
just try and be as authentic to myself as I can. That's all as much as I try and do.
How do you, I don't know, and then this is, I don't have the answer, but how do we stay genuine? How do you stay genuine to yourself and with all the noise?
I think the best advice I've ever received in my life is that comparing yourself already diminishes your worth from the start. Like, you already are sabotaging yourself by comparing yourself to someone else. You as an individual are so unique. There's literally no one like you. And when I say that, this, like, it sounds so cliche, but it is so true. Like, think about it. You're like one in a million trillion people out here in the world. Like, if you made it this far, you might not know it, but you probably already have individuals that are like already trying to be like you or wanting to be after you, not after, but like wanting to be like you because of what you stand for and what you do. Like, people don't really realize it until, the moment comes up to them. But if you stay authentic and true to yourself, people look up to that, and people try to not necessarily idolize that, but I would say people look up to that, just being yourself and not me talking myself into a circle.
That's the most authentic and real, because sometimes you gotta speak organically. So I really appreciate that, and I think you just let everything else fall away.
Yes. Like, literally find things that make you happy and go with them. Like, I feel like that's what I do to find my authenticity. To for a direct answer, like, I find things that like bring me joy and I pursue them and I go for them, and until I'm no longer joyful of that, I'm gonna move on to something else.
So what brings you joy? Big question.
Right now, listening to Royce and Murphy and being on this podcast is like the ultimate mix right now for me. So I'm doing it well.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that's such a compliment. I feel very flattered. Thank you. So what goals do you have going into 2021? What joys and goals do you have for this year? You are our first interview of 2021.
Well, I love being first and all. I would say my goal is to continue putting out new stuff, new content, continue creating, continue being a light, continue to be myself in the most positive way that I can be, because I feel like it's so easy looking back into 2020, like it's so easy to fall into like a low feeling or to feel depressed or to feel down. It's so easy to give into that, but I find it's harder to like push through. So my goal is to continue just pushing through, continue moving forward, continue doing new and moving on to bigger and better.
That's great. I like, you know what? That's gonna be my goals too. I'm gonna.
Period.
I think those are inspirational goals everyone should have. Just keep going on to go better, be better, move forward.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to share, just of yourself or anybody in the internet realm?
I just want to say, continue to spread positivity, continue to rise above. Honestly, if you're given an option to find out the tea, find out the drama, find out the spill, pass it. Girl, you don't need that. Just continue moving on to bigger and better, period.
I like, you know what? I like that. Let's pass on the tea.
Even though my name, Tinashea, came from a pun, all tea, no shade, Tinashea. And here I am. Avoid the tea, avoid the shade.
That's called growth. That's called growth.
Yes, it is called growth, period. I love to hear it and I love to see it.
And I think on even just like a more serious note, as we wrap up, with everything we've seen going on, especially as of recent of last week with like the terrorist attack on the Capitol and the terrorism of white supremacy that we deal with each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're saying of like pass the tea and like spread positivity can apply on that big macro scale. Like if we were just to ignore all the bullshit and the noise and move forward and onward and spread positivity, like what do you think about that?
That's my motto. That's how I'm trying to live my life every day. Like, I really don't have any time. Like, I've been telling my friends converting to this, like, honestly, I don't know. I don't want to know any drama updates. Like, people know when things happen, like, I really don't want to know. I don't want to be in the loop. I don't need to know. If it's not affecting me and my daily life of operating, I don't need to know. And I want to keep it that way, you know? Like, that's how I want to live my life. And if it's not positive, I don't want to be around it. Like, simple as that. We don't know how long we live. The life expectation of a Black trans woman is literally 30 years old. I'm like 23. Like, we're coming down to it. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing as many positive and uplifting things as I can, period.
Absolutely. And you touch on just something so serious for just a moment. Like, the average lifespan of a Black trans woman is 32
Yeah.
years old. Does that play into your general kind of like mantra, as to say, for this year?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's already a toll of trans women being murdered in 2021, unfortunately. And I hate to see it. I hate to hear it. But like, it just brings to the realism that it's so true. Like, you don't know. You don't know. You know, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what the future has for you. So just try and, leave a good mark when you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And paying more attention, because we don't see that in the news. We don't talk.
No, yeah.
I don't I'm a Gemini, so I love information. I love all the socials and the Twitters and YouTube. I probably take in too much information, but I never see enough about the trans women who are killed on a regular basis. I only see it from other Black trans women who I follow on social media, and that shouldn't be the way I'm receiving that information when it's happening so frequently.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's so hurtful. It really does hurt. Honestly, it might sound bad to say, but like, well, I'll start off with saying this. Since I graduated from high school, I stopped watching the news, period. Like, I completely have stayed out of the news entirely because I found myself like thinking about it every time I watch the news. It's always something really bad. And that's not, I don't know. That's how I choose my life. Judge me. But like, I try not to feed into negative things. So ignorance is bliss. And I don't know. I don't even know. It's really hard to always be reminded and like to just see it happen. It's really, I don't know. It's really, really terrible. Like, on my socials on Twitter, I try not to not follow too many activists, but like, I try not to engage with a lot of my feed, because when you just go into it and then you see the comments and you see that what the people who aren't as opinionated or knowledgeable of the facts, when you see those toxic opinions, it can really get to you, you know. So I really try and just not even entertain or put energy into it.
No judgment on my end. Honestly, I think that's probably the smartest and healthiest way to live. You're probably, just on a health standpoint, on a mental stress and behavioral standpoint, in a healthier place than a lot of people who are taking in all of that negative stimulation.
It's a lot of stress.
It is. And like you said, it's also a constant reminder of something that you live with almost every day. And you don't need that added stress. And why, right? It's that. So then what do you watch? Can I ask a fun question then? Like, what do you watch on TV? Like, what's your favorite show or favorite thing to binge right now?
So me and my family and my kids, we all like have an exchange, like, net of exchanging movies. So like, according to our, like, hi, hello, how are you, we go, hi, hello, how are you, and then here's a suggestion for you to watch. I just got done binging through Amazon Prime. Not got done binging, I'm still binging. After we finish this, I'm probably gonna continue binging. I didn't even know I had Prime Video because I had Amazon Prime, but you have Prime Video, so I've just been going through it right now. I just finished a series called The Wild. Live it, love it, girl drama. It's about these girls that get they end up on this deserted island. I can't explain too much because there's so many things into it that kind of spoil each other.
Oh, I love it.
But
I already love it.
It's a good show. I don't know. I love dramas. I love mysteries. I love things that make my brain think. I love things that challenge my mental. Honestly, I don't even really spend that much time watching TV. I find myself more so like playing a video game, or more so designing something or creating something that actually involves like me using my brain, if that makes sense.
Okay, what's your favorite video game?
Right now I love playing Apex Legends because it's a shooter, but like it's not stressful. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not a stressful game because it's super like, I don't know, my ADHD brain is like super colorful and cute, so I don't know, I live for it.
That's the Gemini rising. That's the Gemini.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate chit-chatting with you, and hopefully we'll be conversing with you soon.
Yes, thank you. Have a lovely time.
You as well. Bye.
Ciao.